Evil Lemonhead, tag you're pregnant, take your pick. I'm creating this video to show people how to quickly make YouTube videos on the fly, and just to understand how the process works, and it's just really good to learn these things. For YouTube videos you'll need, or any kind of video you create, you'll need a recording software and a editing software, and the one I use is called Lightworks. Now these are both free, but I'm going to dedicate this video to OBS because we need to segregate these things into different areas so people can learn them better, and it'll actually help you understand it better, I think, as well. OBS is free, very powerful, and the staple of most everyone who records videos online. So I suggest to use OBS in almost every single circumstance because it is very convenient. So if we click here, it'll show why. Oh no, we need to we're already running this. Well, I'm already recording using the software, so it's asking me why am I going to want to run another page of this. So we're going to start it up, and right away we could see a mirror of the screen. That's because I'm showing the settings I'm using in order to record right now, but on a different page. But let's leave that alone. I'll explain that later. Let's start out with how this area, how OBS is segregated into different options. Let's start at start here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete this to show you what a true start is. So what we're going to do is we're going to click down here on the little plus. Going to call it Big Boy, spelled with an I. Okay, so what the scenes are is the scenes are a list of all the different options you have. Different lists give you different options. Now you can set different names for these lists, and then you could set the options for each list. This is my one that I just created, so I have no options set for this list. I have my Minecraft settings, my recording settings, and my Big Boy settings. We're going to click plus. It'll show you all the different options you could use for this. Now, in order to know what you're going to record, you're going to have to understand what the computer categorizes a lot of these programs as. Some programs like games are categorized as games. Some of them are can only be captured by display capture, and some of them are categorized as window capture. We'll get into that later, but right now let's just go to display capture. Let's call this screen 2. And you could set what you want to capture and which screen you want to capture here. Cursor capture. Ooh, ghost. Okay, so we are capturing my screen right here, but oh no, look over here. It's too big. So let's grab the edge and let's move it in. Look at that. We can move it right there. We can move it wherever we want. We could even leave it like that. But let's leave it like this instead. Oh no, there's little bits and pieces down here that we might want to actually fill in. Okay, well, if you hold down shift, you can actually drag these and force it in whatever position you want. But as you can see, my images are being stretched, and it's not going to be proper. So if you hold down Control Z, you could turn it back to whatever you had it as. Control Z is universally an undo button, and it is just so handy. So what else can we do? Oh no, we have our programs. You're seeing all my dirty secrets, all my dirty laundry out in the open. We're gonna have to hide that under the bed. So if you hold down Alt and Shift, you can hold down and crop that right out of your life. And now no one knows what you're doing. You're an invisible mastermind behind the scenes. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's say that you want to have your face down here. Okay, so let's go down here in options again. Let's go down into video capture devices, and let's call this my fat face. Okay. And then this is my default camera. Let's get into my normal slouching position in order to get the optimal scenery. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got all this space over here that we're not going to be able to use. I mean, we could resize it, but it's still got all this space. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. Hold down Alt and Shift and crop this to where we want it. We could crop it up there, crop it over here. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Put that down here. We could make it a little smaller. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Now I've got my face over here. And this cropping function is very useful. You could do anything like this. Let's say that I only wanted to capture my screen, so I can make a mirror if I will. Alt-Shift. Let's do that. Oh, look at that. Looks kind of creepy, right? And we can make this bigger and smaller. Let's make it bigger. Look at that. And we could also add images. Let's go to images. Say 2, 1. Let's browse images. Let's take this boy. Oh yeah, this is the one. Oh yeah. Look at that. It's perfect. And you can make this bigger and smaller how you wish. And there's so many different options you can get into, but generally it's categorized pretty simply. You got text, and scenes and media sources are a separate topic that can get quite advanced, but if you play around with it, I think you would understand it pretty easily. Color sources, browse. Now browse is supposed to be for the internet browser, but if that's not working, trust me, you could always just use the clip function of what I'm just telling you. So let's see here. I think next after sources, after the options of the scenes, you can go to the audio mixer. The first one is your desktop audio. Pretty easy. You could turn this up, turn it down. You could turn up my audio. Yeah. And this is my face cam. And what it does, it takes all the sources of all the different audios you have. Now this right here is my mic audio, but it's so trash that even on the highest level, it still can't even get anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw this in the trash. If you look over here, you see gears on each side. These are options for each different audios. Now let's just say hide. There we go. And it's gone. I think if you right click, you can say unhide all. There you are. And over here we have start streaming and start recording. The service, but the program OBS will try to optimize it for streaming or recording normally. So what we're going to do, and that's really your choice, but streaming makes it so it sends the information to the site, to the website. But the recording, it sends it to your computer. So that's the main differences. And there are a couple different options we can get down here in settings. If you click settings, you can go down to hotkeys. It'll say start streaming, start this, start recording, start this. So let's say I want to start recording and stop recording. If I click F1 and it starts recording, if I click F1 again, it stops recording. See how that is? If I want to make it a hotkey, I can just click here, click 7, 7. Now it'll stop and replay, start replay buffer, and then stop replay buffer whenever I click the hotkey 7. But honestly, I don't want any of that, so I'm just going to click over here, and you can click plus. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do with this. Let's go over to output, and if you see you got recording path, make sure you have it on the right recording path. I'd say the only other thing that's really kind of useful to know is the the recording format. Now right here I have mine on MKV. This saves space because it allows you to change and save your file type whenever you want. So if I had an electrical storm and it shut off my computer instantly, it would still save my file, my recording with MKV, and MKV is a smaller file type. But whenever I want to actually turn it to MK4, then I could do it, I could remix it to MK4 whenever I want. And if you go down here in advanced, you can click, what is it, automatically remix to MK4. I would suggest to do this as well. So what basically is happening is we want the file to be at MK4 all the time. It makes it a lot easier for the the editing software, and we'll get to that later. But we want the file to be at MK4, but for storing purposes, I think it's better to have it at MKV. It's your choice, but it's like that. Yeah, and after that, there's a couple other settings you could just play around with, but honestly, I'd say that's okay. Yeah, and if you click over here, you can show recordings. I'll show you all my recordings. And you can click on them and stuff, and you can also remix. Click this little thing right here, you can remix a recording. Say this is MKV file right here. Open. And then we just remix. Yes, it's done. And now that is changed from MKV to MP4. That fast. It's very fast. That's one of the reasons why we do OBS. And yeah, that's it for OBS. I hope you guys have a great day.